Well, good evening, everyone. This is another episode of The Devil's Hour Testimony of Near Death Experiences. On tonight's broadcast, we are doing a segment on uh, a would be or ex suicide bomber's testimony and her escape from hell. So, it's a lady who was involved in basically, I guess you could say, terrorist activity. Anyways, enough of me talking. Let's hear it from the testimony of the witness. I guess if you want to call it a witness, the person that experienced the experience. Let them tell the story.
I hold the gun, the weapon, and the shooting happened. I didn't move, so I stayed still. So they let me in the army. So I went through all the training, and I was volunteered to go for frontline to die. You know, you have heard for lots of the young kids that they do a suicide bomber because we really believe that what we believe is true. I was born in a Muslim country, and was born in a Muslim family for all generation that I could remember. They were all Muslims, and my mother, very faithful Muslim, tried to teach us all the um, laws and principles about the Muslim and make us to practice it. When I remember I was 5 years old, first when I fast, I really loved God, even though I had not so much experience, but I was a very young girl. But I really, really loved God, and I would faithfully uh, do all the activities in society to bring Islam to the practice for everybody. To make sure that in the school everybody is doing their job as a Muslim believer, Muslim persons, and now I got there was a time that the war started in my country, and by then I joined the army, very young age. But for the government was not important how old you are. They would give you a gun, they call it GC3 that time, and you hold it and then you shoot. If the gun throw you about 1 meter. If you could resist that, they would take you in. I hold the gun, the weapon, and the shooting happened. I didn't move, so I stayed still. So they let me in the army. So I went through all the training, and I was volunteered to go for frontline to die. You know, you have heard for lots of the young kids that they do a suicide bomber because we really believe that what we believe is true and that God is a real God. I'll make the story short. I had to run away from my country, and I I escaped. It took me 6 months from my country to reach a part of Europe that I could live safely to be able to get a status in any other country. Even in out of country, I started evangelism about Islam, and I tried to uh, bring people to Islam because there is a big reward for if you are able to convert anybody to this religion. There's a big reward that promised for the person who does that. And after that, I got the opportunity to meet and to get to know other religions. Back home, I didn't know any religion. All I knew it was Muslim, the one Islam that I was born into it. And the more I think about the religions, the more I get my faith strong in Islam because I would come up with questions. from the Book of Islam that they couldn't answer me. They didn't have answers, and I would give them the answer from the Book of Islam, from Quran. And I by God grace, I could come to Canada. I got the refugee status in Canada, and then I met in Canada. I met Mormons and the Mennonites, and the same thing. I would go into their gathering and bring up the questions, and they were not challenging questions. They was really my own questions that I had in the whole creature. Why? I got all those questions, and I couldn't find any answers. So I keep telling them, I was trying to convince them that the slow Islam is the best religion. I met a person who came and helped me and my family, and I asked him, "What do you believe in?" He said, "Nobody. There is no God. I just believe if you do good, you get good." And I said, that is my problem. I've been miserable because I've been hanging on to some power God, call it God, or people call it God. So that's why I'm expecting some help from somewhere that does not exist. So you're probably right. You're doing lots of good things and you don't believe in any God. So I start going in that direction, which it didn't really help. I became so much miserable. There was a war going inside me. How could you say there is no God? Don't you see the sun? Don't you? And I said, okay, I repent. And I said, there must be a God. Let's look more. Let's search more. And this time was that I met with a group that were happy and everything, and they took me to a temple, which is a Buddhist temple. And the first day when I arrived, the priest for the temple came to me and told me all my life. She told me, you were born before and you were a man. I said, okay, that makes sense because I've been carrying all my family, doing all those things that a man should be. I'm very brave and bold and all of that. And then she said, you killed somebody and you didn't get the punishment. So you are, as a punishment, you are born again as a woman and you're going through all this suffering. I said, that makes sense. Because I always ask why. Why I'm going through so much suffering? This was not even yet beginning of my suffering, and I didn't know that. So I became a Buddhist for a while, practiced that. But again, that voice inside me, when I go buy apple oranges, put them in front of those statues, something inside me laugh at me, said, look at yourself, you're stupid or something. And I couldn't continue that either. And then after that, it was when my sicknesses started. I got a terrible back pain, and then one day I bent and I could not get up anymore. So I stayed bended. I stayed bended and terrible pain. I went to lots of hospitals to rehab. It was terrible. I would scream from the treatment. I was either sleeping or if I'm awake, I just wake enough to reach the water or something to take some medicine and go back again. Just piece of meat that breathes. There was no other God I could try. I've tried it all. I've tried anything that came on my way. And all I've done in my life was good to others, taking care of my family, trying anything I knew to be good to others. And that was the end of my life. I killed myself, suicide. I was unsuccessful. And back to the morphine again. It was worse than death because I was not married. I had no family, never had the children. I never had the time to start my own life. It was all about my family, my country, everything. I was waiting one day to start my own life, to get married, to have children, all of that. And when they told me, you won't die, but this is it, you're going to be a piece of meat. Then I was so in the bad shape that they even didn't know how to put me in a car because I couldn't sit or I couldn't lie down or couldn't stand. It was just so bended like this with the pain continually. I needed some help because the place I rented, it was so messy. I needed somebody that can stand straight, come and take the garbage out or do something. So I went out trying to find somebody, and I saw this guy who was a drug addict. I said, I need help. If you could come and do some help with at the house, clean up or something, I give you some money. And he said, a sandwich and a cigarette, pack of cigarette would be enough. I said, okay. So he was helping me to get to the house, and then we passed by a little building, and he said, um, do you like to dance? I said, oh, I always love to dance. They said, these people dance for free. You can come and go there every evening. They dancing on Sundays. I said, okay. So I went there on Sunday, and I entered to this. They were dancing, they were singing, they were worshiping, and somebody told me, welcome to the church. I said, is this a church? They said, yes. I said, where is the stuff? They said, this is a church. I said, where is your statues? Where is like, I never seen this church before. This is like a big room, people just dancing. And that was a born again church that I got introduced for the first time to. I went in the church, and of course I couldn't dance or anything, just on the floor. And by the end of the worshiping, I asked God, I said, Lord, I didn't know his name, but God or Lord, I just said, is there anything? Is there anything there? I'm at the end. This is the end of it for me. If there is anything, show me yourself. And if it's not, that's it. I'm done with everything. There is no other way. I have tried all the religions that are in the market. I have tried everything. I have tried all the doctors or everything. I'm just piece of meat. What's the purpose of this? And then when I was crying on there on my knees, and then all of a sudden I just saw this light. It was so bright. It was so bright, and I just said, "Who is this? Who is this?" And then he said, "I am Jesus." And then I started beating myself. All these years I heard your name, but I always what a stupid I am. So you are real. So you are real. And it says, "I am the truth. I am true." And then and then he touched me, you know. He just put his hand on my head, like I went all the way to the top. I didn't know what was going on in me. And then it took long because I was just saying, forgive me for not believing that you are real, and forgiving me. And I was just saying that. And then when I came to the when I came back again, I saw ladies. They were holding me. I didn't know. I don't know when they came around me. I didn't know it's anybody around me, and they just kissed me and said, "You okay?" I said, "Yes, yes." And they said, "Wow, such a beautiful smell here. We know we could smell the Lord." I said, I saw him, and then they helped me to get up, and I just stood up straight. I had no pain, and I could just stand up so straight. And I never been in hospital since then, except for my baby, that I had to have a baby. And I walked myself. I came home. I just didn't want to sleep anymore. I just want to stand up. I want to do things. It was just like I got a new life. And I keep looking at myself in mirror that I'm standing straight. My face was different. I looked so different. and uh, and after that, I didn't know what happened for a week. I thought I'm crazy. I thought, how could that be? What's going on? And then lots of bad things start happening to me. Like my house got on fire, everything. And I remember I just would stand in the mirror. I said, I saw him. I'm not going back. I saw him. I am healed. I am healed. I can walk. I have no pain, no surgery, nothing. I have so much health. I used to say I have so much health. Nowhere in my body hurt. Before every piece of body was hurt. My heart even was hurting. My emotion, my everything. I had just this new hope for life that, oh, I can have a life again. I know I was trained as a soldier and everything, but this was even worse than a physical war because then my people come on my way, the professor from university, all those Muslim guys, the people, everything. I was just all of a sudden, I get all these Muslim people around me that are trying to stop me from talking about the miracle that happened in my life. And I keep, maybe you won't believe it. Even on Sunday, I want to go back, and some strong power would hold me back, and I lift my leg and I put it there, and like step by step until I make it to the church, and then I just say, "Help me, pray for me," because I couldn't be baptized for 2 years. Every time they planned something bad happened, that it stopped my baptism in the water. It was such a struggle going on, but all I would say, I said, no, I saw him. I saw him. It's the truth. It's the truth. I never felt alone after that. Never. I would hear his voice, even if I'm alone under the blanket. Never felt lonely. And I had such amazing peace. And I had so much hope for life again. God told me to go see my family and give them the news before I go and say nothing about Lord. And then this was after 2 years praying, and in 1 month, my whole family had a vision of Jesus Christ, and they all came to Lord. My mother, my brothers, my sisters. This really makes me understand the song, that Amazing Grace, that I was how miserable I was, how miserable I was when I was a Muslim, and I thought I was really holy and fasting and praying, all of that, and yet I was so restless and sick and hopeless.
Wow.
And he took me out with the intention of shooting me. I'm going to kill you. When I kill you, go and tell your God that I command I killed you. And I prayed and I said, Lord, if this is my time for me to come to you, I'm willing to come. But please allow me to die with one more person.
So yeah, she was actually in the army, about to be a suicide bomber. And then even she escaped, but her back was fucking screwed. Her whole system was screwed, and she was like living like a hunchback. And then like she just saw Lord and just healed her of all the pain.
Black robes and a staff, and he was waiting for me.
I mean, I still feel pain, but I
The gospel is supposed to make people
feel past it.
into disciples. It's supposed to make them so hungry and desperate for the real Jesus that they'll go to the ends of the earth.
Then the next moment, there's two angels with me in the room waiting for me. And I realized this is my time.
Thank you, Kalu Kalu.
sitting on my couch, and I asked Holy Spirit what was going on, and he actually spoke to me. He said, "Well, that's a witch."
Where are you
And she tries to
from?
curse your ministry.
India, Pakistan.
You're right. It turns out she went to one of the most difficult places in this country I'm standing in right now and planted a church at a very, very dangerous place.
Witnessing to people is all good, but if you could witness and demonstrate the power of God, that's important.
And we have
We're
adjusted
talking about
our
death and
theological
God
stances to follow along
and hell
after the changes
and all that
in
stuff.
society.
I mean, I think Jesus is just an ordinary guy with really good ideas.
That is manifest in Buddha, that is God. So I believe it's broader than just Jesus.
We call what we have the church. We think that if we go to a building and have a meeting on a Sunday morning, we have the church. We don't have the church. The church is not that.
Lead me to your holy place. Cover me with endless grace. Once again.
I'm really not sure why the internet's so bad tonight. Probably just Satan. Oh, speaking of Satan, it is now the devil's hour here in Los Angeles, 3 a.m. It is now officially the devil's hour. Oh,
L'enfer et le paradis existent.
no, this is not gonna cut it.
L'âme
How long is this? Only 5 minutes. That's not gonna cut it either. How is everybody in the chat? Thanks for the likes. If you would please share the broadcast and follow me. I do the show every day, sometimes twice a day. Hey, LM, 5, level 5. How are you? LMC2. I'm just gonna go on the LM accounts. I'm just gonna say the first 4. LMC2, level 5. Welcome. Please share the broadcast and follow me. I'm gonna do another segment here, and then possibly go to sleep. Well, thank you very much for making my views hit 50. Please share the broadcast and follow me. Maybe I should just put it back to that. I think they stripped me of my yeah, because I put hell on it. Alright, here we go. We gotta find another, This guy looks like a good candidate.
Hi, I'm Lynn, and you are watching God is Real. Last segment, I talked about my testimony, how I received the Holy Ghost, and how God, Holy Spirit, dwelt with me, and how He walked with me, talked, and woke me up at 12 o'clock, at 4 o'clock in the morning. There are many things I shared. I hope you watched it. But today, I'm going to share something else. You know, if God is real, that means that heaven is real and hell is real, and also demons, Satan. Today, I'm going to share with you some my experience that was very, very great and powerful. My trip to hell. One night I was asleep, and this is after having a serious relationship with Father, being so excited about things that He had done and showed me, and I just couldn't get over how much the Spirit has power, how much power that the Spirit has, I should say. But now, I'm going to tell you, hell is something that everyone overlooks and find that it's some myth. But people believe that everyone is going to heaven. That's not true. You must believe in Jesus, the Son of God. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man goes unto the Father except by Him. And I want to share my experience with my Father with you, that you may turn around and seek Him yourself. Now, all I say is, one night, as I was sleeping in bed, Father woke me up. And as I woke up, I got out of the bed, and there was a hole beside my bed. Now, I would think that I was dreaming, but the angel was standing there, and he told me to go down. And I'm like, I can't go down this hole. And I'm thinking, I'm dreaming, so this must be a dream. But when I turned around and I looked, I was still in the bed. My body was still in the bed, asleep. So then I heard the voice again, Father say, go down. And the angel stood right here
Welcome,
on my
Vape
left
Queen.
side.
This is testimony.
And I
This
said
show
to my
is
Father,
testimony of
Father,
near-death
send someone else.
experiences.
Send my aunt.
Welcome to my show.
My aunt was strong in the Lord. And I believe that she'd have been a better person to go down, a better subject to go. But Father said, no, you go. So I went. I knew I was not in my body anymore because I looked again and I was laying in the bed, asleep. Everything that was around me was the same. It's just that I was still in the bed, asleep. So as we went down the hole, it was dark. But the angel himself, he had a glow that he lit the way. And as we was going down, I heard something. First, it sounded like roaring noise. And then we got farther and deeper. And it was moving, we was moving pretty fast. And it got louder and louder. And it sounded like as though you was at a football, a bunch of people cheering at a football game. You can just hear it, just like a bunch of people just roaring, screaming and shouting, and cheering on a team. But the closer we got, the more I realized there wasn't no cheering. It was screams. Not just regular screams that you would have from hearing with your ears, but screams that cut through your soul. You don't just hear, you feel. Once we got down there to the bottom, I looked around and I saw the walls. The walls was dirt. And I looked at the floor of it. It was dirt. It was dry. And the walls was it's just dirt. We was like in a cave. And the angel told me to come on. We continued to walk. And when we continued to walk, we end up standing on a cliff in this big giant chamber in the earth. Giant chamber. We stood above and we looked down and I saw like an ocean of souls. Many, many souls. And I also saw the demons that was down there. The angel told me, come on, we're going farther. And I asked, is this what I think it is? Now at that time, I'm afraid. Because I know I wasn't in my body anymore. So I figured I've died and now this angel's finna take me down. The angel told me to continue, come on. So we went down some more. When we went
what's
down,
up, Victory?
we hit the bottom.
This is God's testimony.
And I looked again and made sure that I'm
Let
seeing
me
what
show
I'm
you where
seeing.
I'm at.
I'm hearing what I'm hearing.
So this is my bedroom right here. But we're watching testimony.
It's no longer a dream. There's no longer a chance
This
to
guy's
do
talking about his
right.
near-death experience.
I'm made it to hell. I was afraid. But the angel told me not to fear. He said, God want to show you something. But I was still afraid. We walked. Right, I stood as close as I could to that angel. And we walked. And I saw so many people. So many souls. So many souls. They was being tormented. And I looked to the right and I saw a fire that went all the way to the top of the chamber. It was something to see. It was not like regular fire. It was greater than lava. But that fire went all the way up to the top of the chamber. And I saw these people just walking straight into the fire. And I saw the souls of many people just walking straight into the fire. And I saw this young man that I've seen before.
Hey,
Used
thanks
to
for the
walk with me.
likes.
At the time, I didn't even know that he had passed away. But that young man was walking straight to that fire, and I stood in front of him. I said, no. I said, you don't have to walk and go into the fire. And that young man looked at me. And because he didn't have flesh, I know exactly what he said. I have to. I have no choice. And I said, no, wait a minute. I call on Jesus. I said, I call on Jesus for you. And keep you from going into the fire. And the angel stepped in front of me. He said, no, you cannot. You cannot do anything for them. He said, these are the ones that rejected Jesus. All right. He said, but you can help those that are on the earth, that they may accept Jesus. He said, it's too late for these. And the thing about it is, those souls has no other chance. And I continued to look around, and I saw a beast that was so hideous. And he had so much hatred and anger that he turned around and looked at me, and it just like he hated me to the core. And the angel stood beside me. And the beast, he just dropped his head. And with the anger, I can feel it. The anger and the hatred that he had for me. And the angel told me, it's time to go. And at that moment, the angel grabbed my arm. And we traveled again. Back up out of there. And all I can think about, I get another chick. I get another chance. That's all I can think about.
Thanks for the likes, guys.
The souls of man that are damned, they don't get another chance.
Some intense shit.
When we reject Jesus,
I've been watching these kind of videos for like half a week now, a couple
when we
days.
leave this earth.
It's my new show, The Devil's Hour.
I'm here to share with you that
I
hell
feel like
is
the
real.
Reaper on my shirt.
It exists. When I came back in my body, I could not do nothing but scream and holler. I couldn't move. I couldn't do nothing. Because my spirit had no control of my body yet. It had just entered back in. I cried out with my spirit, but my mouth would not open. I was not asleep. I was back in my body. I looked around with my eyes, but my head could not move. The numbness of my body was there. And I know that I had experienced an out-of-body experience. And it took a while. It took a long time for me to have back control of my body. I just laid there and was thanking God. that he did not leave me in that place. It was not a dream. Well, I know what a dream is. But when you look and you see your body, and you know that you're not in it, that is not a dream. That is an out-of-body experience. Finally, when I had control of my body,
I never experienced the
I
out of
went
body,
back up
but
front, like I
there's
always
thousands
do,
of
talk to my
testimony.
Lord.
And my friends have
And
told
my
me,
father said to me,
people I know in real life have told me
he
things,
said,
same, similar experiences.
remember what
They
you
all
have
say
seen
almost the same exact thing.
and write it down. For it was not a dream, for it was something real that you have experienced. I wrote it down that day. All that day, I was in my emotions. I cried. I wept. I prayed for others to receive my Lord. Father is my best friend. I pray that he be your best friend, that you will allow him to. Father, we have it that no man would suffer, that no man would die, that no man will go to hell. But because of our hearts, we reject. And I'm telling you, this place is real. And it's inside the earth. I didn't know it at that time, but I looked it up. The scriptures tell it. That the earth would open up. The pit would open up. And that's what it would do. Because it's down in the earth. I can't say it enough. Repent. Seek Father. Don't seek none of this. None of this on this earth is worth your salvation. Trust me. Believe. God is real. God is real. I know that there are many, many religions, but there's none that send you the comforter, but one. It's the Christianity, as we call it. But we call it having faith in God. Believing that Jesus is your Lord and Savior. Believing that God raised Jesus from the dead the third day. And you shall be saved. If you believe in your heart, confess with your mouth that God raised Jesus from the dead, Father will come, make his abode with you. These are the last days of this world. These are the last times that the Gentiles will be able to cry out to our Lord. Yes, I said Gentiles. Because he's the God of the Jews. But he said, I would turn to a people that were not my own, meaning that we didn't believe at first. Only the Jews believed in God and Jehovah. Now we have this beautiful opportunity that we may be saved, that we may be able to break bread with our Lord and Savior. Let us not let it pass us. Seek it. Seek his righteousness, his love. Seek him. Time is winding up. Seek him. Seek ye the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. All these other things will be added unto you. These things that he talks about, his spirit, all these other spiritual gifts will be added. If you seek him, you receive it. Trust me. I have experienced many things in the spirit with Father. And on this, Joe, you will see. You will hear them.
I'm gonna
I
go to
made
another
this
guy.
video to give honor and glory to Father God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus Christ. I just woke up from a vision or a dream. And I don't know if I was in my body or if I was out of my body. Take this entire video to the Lord if you think that I'm lying, because this was a real experience and this is what I saw. I seemed like I was somewhere like in a prison or a jail.
It's not very easy to get up here and talk about the experience that I had. Some people think you're crazy. You know, they say all kinds of things. But I know that what happened to me was real. I know that I experienced something. And because of it, God has a mandate on my life to stand up here and tell you about what happened. 1 year ago, today, 365 days ago, I experienced death. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I make this video to give honor and glory to Father God. I make this video to give honor and glory to Father God.
Hold on, guys. I gotta get a nice video going. Sound bad. One second, guys. Oh wow, this one's 16 videos. Perfect screen. Hey, brother. I don't know why my internet is so.
Up in the neighborhood that, first of all, the first killing that I experienced feet away from me when I went to go and get a gallon of milk was only 10 feet away from me. They shot the guy like 7 times. They shot him 7 times. There was a young boy. I seen killings after killings after killings. In order to survive in the streets of the South Bronx, you have to be a killer. You have to be a murderer. You have to be smart. You have to be slick. My father's side, it was all witches and warlocks. We lived on witchcraft. We had a contract direct with the devil himself. My father, I remember when I was younger, like 8, 9 years old, I would see him go into the room to worship the devil, and I could feel the presence of the devil come into that room. And my father would worship and speak in tongues and demonic tongues and worship and put flowers and put candles and put water. At 7 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning, I was really going
I gotta
to
rewind this part.
demonic church. I was going
This
to
is
witchcraft.
crazy. South
When I
Bronx.
went to go and get a gallon of milk, was only 10 feet away from me. They shot the guy like 7 times. They shot him 7 times. There was a young boy. I seen killings after killings after killings. In order to survive in the streets of the South Bronx, you have to be a killer. You have to be a murderer. You have to be smart. You have to be slick. My father's side, it was all witches and warlocks. We lived on witchcraft. We had a contract direct with the devil himself. my father. I remember when I was younger, like 8, 9 years old, I would see him go into the room to worship the devil, and I could feel the presence of the devil come into that room. And my father would worship and speak in tongues and demonic tongues and worship and put flowers and put candles and put water. At 7 o'clock at night to 5 in the morning, I was really going to demonic church. I was going to witchcraft church. I was being trained to be a warlock. I was being trained with witches that were in the religion for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. They was training me to learn how to speak to principality, spirits in the ground, the devil himself. You couldn't speak to the devil right away. You had to earn your right to speak to the devil. And the first mass killing that they did in my neighborhood was in this house right here. The husband stabbed the lady 52 times and cut her ears off here. And then me and my brothers were hanging out with their daughter, and we came to the house to walk them back home because we're hanging out with the daughters right here. And the daughters found their mother cut up to pieces here in this house. I was in a schoolyard playing with some friends in the schoolyard, and the pastor came, and they had this band came in, and they were started singing songs, and people started to gather in the schoolyard, and it was an amazing atmosphere, amazing joy in the schoolyard. And I came from a broken home. This pastor's up on stage, and he's talking about some Bible story and some Bible book, and he's talking about how God loves everybody and all this other stuff. And for the first time, I'm getting kind of captivated. Wow, maybe God does love me. Maybe God wants me. Maybe God wants my family. Maybe God wants to touch me and my family. Maybe he wants to change my family around. And I said, well, I can get some of that. I'm going to get some of that because he's coming my way. And this is the first time ever I felt an incredible love that was undescribable. This pastor's coming off the stage and praying for people and touching people. So I said, now it's my turn. Now he's going to touch me. Now Jesus is going to accept me. Jesus is going to show me what love is about. And this pastor passed me by. Never touched me. Never laid his hands on me. He went down the line, and when he came up to me, he passed me by and touched the other person. And I said, well, Jesus don't love me either. My dad don't love me. Jesus don't love me. We come from a broken home. Jesus, he likes the fact my mother gets beat up. He likes the fact that me and my brother go to bed hungry. He likes the fact that, there's no heat in my apartment. He likes the fact that when we go to school, we reject misfits in school. So this Jesus guy, he's just like my father. There's no difference. He's just like my dad. So I went home broken. I went home sad. I remember that a week later, 2 weeks later, I was at a schoolyard, hanging out, playing with a friend of mine, and I heard something fell and hit the ground, and it was a voodoo necklace. So I took the voodoo necklace. It had many colors. I took it, I put it on, and the necklace was my first contract with the devil. We went to a tarot card reading, and when I went to the tarot card reading, as a little boy, at 10 years old, we went in. The lady that was doing the tarot card, the witch lady that was doing the tarot card reading, she got fascinated. Her eyes were fixed on me, and she said, "This boy, we want him. Your research, which is Santeria, want him. Spiritualism, which is spiritualism, espiritismo in Spanish. Santeria is they call it worship of the saint, but it's not worship of the saints, worship of demons. We want him, and if you don't give it to us, he's going to lose his eyesight in 30 days." So my mother was so desperate as a mother. My mother sold her furniture. My mother sold her bed. She sold her bedroom set to get $250 to do my first ceremony because this lady put so much fear in my mother that my mother had to sleep on the floor because there was no bedroom for her to sleep into because she didn't want me to lose my eyesight. So they initiated me to the dark side at the age of 10 years old. So the first love, the first encounter I had as a 10-year-old boy with the devil showed up and took the offering of giving my life to him. And they put 5 beads around my neck, the 5 worst the 5 worst demons of principalities that are under Satan. They put them right under my neck, which is Santeria. They put them right under my neck, and they said, these are going to be your spiritual guys, and this is going to be your guardian angel, and they're going to take care of your life from now on. This is the building, this corner building here used to be almost abandoned. The corner building here, it's in the book. And I used to go up and down. Me and my brother used to go and get the water in the pump. We got the pump right there. All the apartment was all empty. All the apartment was abandoned over here. Only me, my family, and 2 other families lived here. And my whole childhood
Welcome
was so.
to the Devil's Hour. We are
going to demon church. I would go to
halfway
demon church
through
from
the
7 in the
Devil's
evening
Hour.
to 5 in the morning, being trained by witches and warlocks, colored
3:30
principal Right. Who
Los
owns this
Angeles
region?
time.
Who's in this region? Who's running this principality? What principality name is this? I had
Just go back
how
to the
to channel
testimony.
powers. At the age of 13 years old, I was astral projecting my body. I would leave my body home and go to regions and go into the spirit realm and curse docile, curse neighborhoods, curse, put spirit of prostitution, spirit of drugs into the neighborhood, homosexuality spirits here, demonic spirit here, spirit of murder, spirit of suicide. I know how to channel all those spirits into neighborhood. At the age of 15, 16 years old, I was going into hospitals and putting death in ICU, death in one room, so this person can die because I wanted to be promoted with the devil to the multi ranks to be the biggest devil worshiper in New York City. The devil became my daddy. He replaced my dad because I prayed and I said, "You killed my dad." At the age of 33 years old, my dad got shot in a nightclub in the face by a woman that wasn't even his when he had to go up and home. And the devil took him out. The devil said, "I replaced the old to keep the new." And the devil became my daddy. There was a club here, and my father died there at 33 years old. And we lived over there. And then when my mother lived, when I was 11-year-old boy, there was a store right here in the corner. And the guy got shot right there in the street right there. Right next to the little corner here. The guy got killed there when I went to get the gallon of milk. And I moved up the rank from devil worshipping. I moved up the ranks. I moved up with principalities and demons to the point that I was able to sit with the devil like I'm sitting with you today. And the devil would manifest himself in human form. Or the president would come into the room and I would speak to the devil all night long. And he would give me assignments. I would go to 5 clubs or 5 lounges a night to look for people to recruit to the dark side. I would tell people their fortune. I would tell people their lives. I would tell people things that they did, things that was going to happen to them. That then they had no clue who I was. They didn't know who I was. I just had the demonic powers. I had a taste for blood. I would kill animals and drink the blood every week. If I didn't have money if I didn't have time to buy an animal, I would cut myself and drink my own blood. The ring of the people that I was with that was in this demonic world, doctors, lawyers, principals, judges, police officers, they were all into witchcraft. There was all, even singers today that are very well known. I would move principalities on that region to control demons on the ground to operate the church, to cut down the church, to cut down the growth of the church, to cut down the opportunity for people to get saved. I would be drunk. I'd come out of a club and I would have demon possessed, drunk. I would stand in the middle of the street and say to God, "Come down. You want some of this? You want me to slap you in your face? You want me to spit you in your face? You come and mess with me." I got married on Halloween. I had a demonic wedding on Halloween. I got married on Halloween. All the demons and principalities from different regions around the world came to my wedding. No human beings came to my wedding. They were afraid to come to my wedding. So I had I sent out invitations. No one showed up. So there were no wedding gifts. But demons came to my wedding and baptized my wedding. So my wife was a witch. I was a witch. And then my daughter was born, and I was training her to be a witch too. I remember the first time that I was going to sacrifice my first human being. The devil was sitting in the passenger side of my car when I parked. He said, "You love me?" I said, "Of course I love you, Daddy." He said, "There's a guy on the rooftop. He's going to try to take you and take your money or hurt you. You kill him if you love me." So when I went up there to the rooftop, I lived on the 12th floor. I remember that. And when I went up to the rooftop, I remember the part that he was hiding behind. He was hiding behind the stairway, and this guy was like 6'5", 250 pounds. I was half demon possessed. I felt the demon within me, and it wasn't even me anymore. So I was going to drag him into my apartment and stab him in the neck because I had a Cardone pot with weighed about 100 pounds plus, and I had like 9 machetes in it, and I had knives in it that I used to kill the roosters with. But when I went to grab this guy that I wanted to bring him to my apartment, he just went off my hands and just disappeared. He went down the story. I mean, this guy was like an Olympic athlete. He just gone, disappeared. And I couldn't grab him and kill him. So I was very disappointed that I couldn't kill my first human being.
Wow. I've heard this guy's testimony, but not this part.
This is the one I was telling you about that is in my book. Look at this. The truth. Is that funny? The truth. It said you free. Ain't this a joke? They put it up there so people can think that they're part of this.
What is this place?
This is the Botanica. This is the place that everyone in the Bronx come here to find the ingredients to do witchcraft and hurt people and kill people. This is the place. We can go inside. Come on, let's see. If I tell you I was going to kill you in 30 days, be prepared your funeral. You was going to die in 30 days. If you, I don't care who you were. I don't care who you knew. I don't care what you call yourself. If you were Catholic and you said you were Christian and you said you were a believer, I was going to kill you unless you had a real relationship with Jesus Christ. And the lady that lived downstairs, she came up and she told me, my husband is cheating. I want you to kill the woman he's cheating with. Put a witchcraft spell on her and kill her. How much you charge me? I said, well, come back. I'm going to speak to the devil, my daddy, and I'll let you know. Come back in a couple of days. So the lady came back. The devil told me what to buy. He said, buy a coffin box, buy 21 black candles, buy an image of the lady, put it in the box, to do the witchcraft, to kill this lady. So we were going to do her for 21 days. She was going to die. After 21 days, we were going to do her funeral. So when the lady came to me, I said, I'm going to charge you $10,000. I told her to kill the lady. She said, sure. She said, I tell you what, I know you. You've been good to me. I go to your house parties. Give me $7,000. I'll give you 30% off. I said, I'll kill her. I give me 30%. I take 30% off the 10. Give me 7,000. So when the lady was going to leave my house, she said, by the way, she's a Christian. She said, the lady's a Christian. I said, I'll kill her for free. I said, I don't need the money. I said, I'm going to kill her for free. I'm going to teach these Christians a lesson that they're going to learn. I'll kill her for free. I told her, I don't want your money. I'll kill her for free. So I did the voodoo thing. I did the witchcraft thing. And 21 days went by. The lady didn't die. A month went by. The lady didn't die. And I was like, wow, what's going on? I mean, my reputation's on line. So I called the devil. I called the demons. I was son. I increased the witchcraft. I increased the witchcraft. I doubled the witchcraft on it so she can die like overnight. Nothing was going on. Nothing was going on. I was home at night and the devil shows up. And I feel the presence of the devil comes into my house. And then the devil told me, we have to abort the plan that the ladies you want to kill. And I said, why we're going to abort the plan? My reputation on line. I'm a witch. I'm a warlock. If I don't kill the lady, they're going to think that I don't have any powers. The devil said, you don't understand. The God that she serves said, don't leave her alone. Don't touch her. And I said, who's this God? She said, the God that she serves. So I was so angry. I said, no, but let's do one more week. Let's kill her. And he said, no, the God that she serves said, leave her alone. From the witchcraft that I did to the lady, she should have been dead in less than 21 days. How you doing? How you doing, man? This is Jezebel. This is Jezebel. This is how it works. See, these statues here, they don't mean nothing. But they could even be hurt. So in order for me to identify to this has to be created because I can't identify to the spirit. I can't identify to the spirit. We don't have nothing to do. I'm humanity. But spirit is immortality. But spirit is a spirit demon. I can't relate to it. So in order for me to relate to it, you have to put this guy in the middle so I can relate to it because it's human form. There's a story behind it. So now I can relate to it. So the demon operates to her. Same thing with these guys. And then they give themselves names and days and birthdays. These are American Indians get caught up with demonic forces and they get caught into the occult. This is a teacher they attract, but the Native American Indians. But there's a statue that the people that use to camouflage the demonic ways and demonic ways. There's nothing here that is holy. There's nothing here. The only thing that's holy here is us standing here.
What happens in this place? Like what?
They say in the Bible, they do witchcraft, they do voodoo, they do witch spells in the Bible, they do crazy in the Bible. Over here, all these demons, they want you to buy these statues so you can take a demon home. It's like the prayers. So they make you believe that you pray to God. No. See, I used to use these prayers. It's like the prayers. They make you think that you're praying to God, but these prayers are not God. They're not godly prayers. There's nothing in the Bible. They say nothing about the Bible. Crucifixion. We had a book in New York, in America. I was the third person that did this book that has symbols of the book, of different demons, of different principalities, of different ways of killing people to witchcraft. And this book was so, no one had a copy of this book. You couldn't have a copy of this book unless the devil signed off on it. And I was the third person that received that book. And I would take symbols from that book and do witchcraft to people and put people and make people lose their mind. I put witchcraft on people, make people get diseases out of nowhere. I put witchcraft on people, make people get leprosy. I put witchcraft on people, make people get cancer. I mean, I did witchcraft to people. I gave people miscarriages. I gave people abortions. I put people in hospital for surgeries that didn't even have to go surgeries. I did witchcraft so people can lose their minds. I put spirits of bipolar, schizophrenia. I put spirits of of disease on people. I put suicide spirits on people. I'd be up all night long praying and talking to the devil. When Christians can't even go to church for 1 hour. When Christians can't even pray for 1 hour. The spirit realm is more real than the natural realm. And we fail to see that. And whatever is not covered with Jesus Christ is an easy target to bring down. Like the atheists, I can kill them easily. They were easy to kill. The Jehovah's Witness were easy to destroy. Moment out of it was easy to destroy. The people that will walk around and say we don't believe in the devil, they were easy to destroy because they will not seek any spiritual help. I remember the time that Nikki Cruz group came into my neighborhood, and it's called Truths. They would come and do drive-bys in my neighborhood. They would do like worship, and then they would preach a word and go to another corner and do the same thing. And I came after this group to try to bring them down, this group. And they were young kids. They were like 18, 17, 16, 20. I mean, so I said, how dare they play this junk, this filthy music in my neighborhood, with today we call worship. This filthy music in my neighborhood. I'm gonna go after them. I'm gonna destroy these kids. So when I went up to where they were at, there was a wall of fire around them. I couldn't penetrate and touch them. And there was something pushing me back. Every time I tried to throw demonic forces again, there was something that would just push me back. And I was able to touch these kids. And I said, there was something here. It's not right. Something is not falling into place. So I walked away and I left them alone. I didn't want to deal with them. I said, okay, they won this first round.
So there's obviously spirits here watching us.
Yeah,
so
watching,
of
course they're watching us.
Yeah, and so we're all protected. We're
protected. Yeah, we're under the blood, brother. There ain't nothing like the blood of Jesus.
Okay.
Amen.
Yeah,
we're
good.
protected, but they're not. They can touch us because Job said, "What we got a hedge of protection around us, and we can walk into this place. We can chase demons out of here. We can curse a place to the ground in Jesus' name, and there's nothing that the devil can't do." I mean, I had so much money, beautiful cars, beautiful woman. I had it all. I lived in a world that people, my neighborhood they were terrified who I was. They said, if you mess with that guy, your family will die. If you mess with that guy, he don't need a gun. He'll kill your family in his sleep. My daddy was awesome. My daddy was, he knew he gave me powers beyond I could imagine. He gave me powers that people have fear me. The police have fear me. The security in my neighborhood have fear me. The people that knew that I was the devil's, they would call me the devil's son. I brought Christians to their knees, not to prayer, because they had no power. It wasn't because your God wasn't all powerful. Don't get me wrong. Because your God was all powerful, the vessel was weak. The vessel had no prayer life, the prayer had no fasting life, and it had no relationship with God. There was a form of godliness in the person, but no power. The person was weak. The person had nothing going. He had a Bible, he had the right suit on, she had the right dress on, but there was no connection with Jesus Christ because he was out of his will, he was out of his promises, and he was out of his divine purpose. And I had you, I own you, I had you as a slave. I broke you, I put witchcraft on you. I kept doing that to Christian after Christian after Christian after families, after churches. I chased everything down that represented the cross of Jesus Christ. Very demonic place.
So that place has an effect on the whole neighborhood, you're saying?
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, that just had this whole region unlocked now. That's the devil's throne. We just went into the devil's throne. That throne business is the 80s. And then they go there, spend $100, $200 buying all these things, and then they broke their welfare, public assistance, but they got money to buy all this junk. They think their life is going to get better. They think that their life is going to improve. They think they're going to make progress in life. They think that they're going to break generational curses. They think they're going to break, vex spells, voodoo. They think they're going to break all that. And basically, God said, I do it for you for free. Just give your life to me, and I'll set you free. But they don't want that. That's too difficult for them. That's too complicated for them. But they can walk into a place like this and drop $200 to think that their life is going to be free, and they're going to live a life in abundance. I had contact with the principality that runs Haiti. His name is Candelo. I had contact with him. I had contact with demons in Miami. I had contact with demons in Africa. I had contact with demons here in New York City, principalities that run the crossroads of the world here on 42nd Street. Okay, there's a different principality that run the crossroads of the world here on 42nd Street to the ones that try to run here in this neighborhood. I didn't have a conscience. I remember I did witchcraft to my brother. I put him in jail for 5 years. The witchcraft I did to my own brother, my own flesh and blood. I did witchcraft and I put him in jail for 5 years. I did my other brother that was a warlock. He came into my house one time with an attitude, and the demon jumped on him, and he ran out the house. He couldn't hold the pain in his stomach. My mother can bear witness to that. I did so much ceremonies in my body. I did so much ceremonies in my body. The last ceremony I did was not only sell my soul to the devil. I did a ceremony that I had to swallow animal blood and gunpowder. It was called Sansi. Sansi is a ceremony of Haitian and French. That you do the ceremony with a demon. So when I go to people's houses and eat, they can't put witchcraft on the food. I did that kind. I did all the ceremonies you can do. I knew I would go to demon church, and every year we would have a meeting, a secret meeting. All the high witches and warlock would have this meeting to find out what principality we were going to usher out and bring in to run the region. We were more organized than the church itself. The kingdom of darkness was more organized than the Church of Jesus Christ. We knew how to do ceremonies. We knew how to do things before the year was over to prepare ourselves for the next year. When Christians couldn't go to church and pray for 1 hour. When Christians couldn't go to church and have a consistent relationship with God. I even took a sabbatical from witchcraft. And the devil punished me, took my eyesight for 1 year. I was completely blind for 1 year. Registered with the Commission of the Blind. I was completely blind. They was training me to use an eye-seeing dog. And they was training me to use one of these sticks that you use if you walk the streets with. My mother took care of me for 1 year. My eyes went black. And a mist of gray went over my eyes. I was completely blind. And when I gave my life back to the devil, after 7 surgeries, the devil gave me back my eyesight. And I could see again. And that was my punishment for taking 1 year off. I wanted to take off. The devil said, you want 1 year off? I'll give it to you. He took my eyesight. And that's the world I lived in. If you mess with the devil, he'll kill you, he'll kill your family. There was a fear that would grip you beyond measure, that you could not leave this religion. You could not leave Santeria, you could not leave Palomayumbe, and you could not leave spiritualism. The doctors could not explain how I lost my eyesight. Meanwhile, Christians, now it's like, what Christians do bad? And Christians sometimes miss the mark, and the only thing that shows up in their house is grace and mercy. When you show up with the devil and you do something the devil don't like, he kills someone, he kill your family member. And when I remember the devil warned this lady, she said, you can't be with that person no more. And she didn't care because she was in love with the person. The devil, demon possessed a homeless guy in the street. He took a hammer, hit her 17 times over her head, and killed her. One day I was sitting home, and it was amazing. I came from the nightclub the night before. I was sitting home watching a show called Jerry Springer. I was a crazy show. People beat each other up. I get joy out of that. I was getting joy out of that, laughing. For the first time, I heard a voice say to me, son, I'm coming soon. What are you going to do with your life? I ordered a voice, shot from across the room. And I thought it was the TV that was talking to me. And I said, no, can't be the TV because these people are beating each other up. This voice. I knew the voice of the devil. I was sitting with the devil like I'm sitting with you today. And he would come into human form. He will come into the room. And he'll come in sometime. The presence of him will come into the room. The atmosphere changes. And I know he would sit with me and he would talk into my conscience and we would talk back and talk all night long. I knew that too. I knew it like you knew the back of your hand. I knew every demon, every principality that ran the region, ran everything in America, everything in Canada, everything that ran. I knew every principality that ran, every occult, Wicca, New Age, Buddhism, Islam, Santeria, spiritualism. I knew every principality that ran. I had a contract with every principality. With them, I had straight A marks for every principality, every demon on the ground. The devil, Jezebel. I had new demons that I can't even tell your name because you won't know who they are. I knew them all by name. And this voice was very different than any other voice. When I heard that voice come out of nowhere, it came out of the air, the voice. And I went into shock. And then I saw a vision from the other side of the apartment that the sky was on fire. And people underneath, I saw people running for cover, but there was no cover where to hide. And I said, why would I see that vision? So I shook it off. But I remember I went to sleep, and like a deep sleep. I someone put anesthesia, and I went to sleep. I ended up in a train full of people. I couldn't believe it. I was in a train full of people. And this train was going faster than you can ever imagine. I'd never been on something this fast on earth. And it went into hell. And Jesus Christ took me to hell. And when I got to hell, the doors opened. I mean, there was a slam on the doors. There was an unspeakable echo where the doors opened. And there was heat that came out of nowhere. I felt like we were going to suffocate the heat that came out. And I ran in, I got out the train, and the people on the train, they had no faces. But you could see the fear on the people on the train. You could feel the fear, the impact of the fear that they were going to a place that they were never going to return. and the place was packed. And then I tried, I said, I can't die here. I said, I can't die. This is not for me. I wasn't born to be in this place. I was saying this to myself. I was not born to be here. So I tried to find like a tunnel in hell. And I was walking to the tunnel. I was trying to run to the tunnels in hell, trying to find a door, maybe a window, maybe there was a gap somewhere that I can come out and come back to reality. But there was no gap. And I remember as the more I went into the tunnels, the more the fear gripped me. The more the suffering. I heard suffering, darkness drapes over you. This fear drapes over, like you're wearing a garment. This fear drapes over you. It's something you can't even control. You have no control over. Something like it grabs you. It don't let you go. I couldn't see the hand in front of my face, but I hear wailing. Like, you ever hear like a kid wail and an animal wail at the same time? Like it's like that kind of wailing. It's undescribable. And it was heat and smell. There was like it was like in the sewers of the gutters of New York City. But I mean, but crazy than that. And then I came to a part of the tunnel. The devil showed up. He said, I was your daddy. He spoke to me the amount of time. I was your daddy. I gave you everything you needed. I took care of you. I blessed you. I protected you. I killed people for you. I did everything. I gave you powers. I gave you a name in the kingdom of darkness. I gave you a name. When people came against you, I destroyed them because I knew that you were going to be the vessels I was going to use to move my kingdom on the earth. And now you want to leave me? Now you want to betray me in demonic tongues? And I'm talking to him back in demonic tongues and telling him, no, I'm not leaving. I'm just confused. I don't know what's going on. And he said, no, I know what you're going to do. You're going to leave me and you're going to expose my religion. You're going to expose who I am and how I operate in the spirit realm. Because I taught you things that I never taught no one else. I showed you things. I trusted you with the things that I needed you to know so you can further my kingdom. Because I wanted to use you in a greater mega way. And confused, he went to grab me. As he went to grab me to destroy me, the cross of Jesus Christ appeared in hell. I didn't understand how a beautiful cross appeared in hell when I was wearing the blue shorts and a t-shirt. And I put it on him. And when I put it on him, the devil knelt like he was an infant. Like an infant, he knocked and fell on the floor with no power. So I took that opportunity. I ran deep into the gate. I ran deep into the tunnels of hell, hoping that there was a door. My hope was there was a hope in the hope at all. There was no place to say, I'm coming out of here. This is it. This is the end. I had a fear that gripped me that I was undescribable. I never felt a fear like that. I never felt a despair. It was the opposite of what heaven is. It was opposite of joy. It was opposite of gladness. It was opposite of peace. It was opposite of light and darkness. It was a place of torment, a place of, if I'm here, my family will know I'm here. My daughter will know I'm here. How would they find me? How would they look for me? So as I went deep into the tunnel of hell, hoping that there was a door, a window, a crack somewhere that I can get out, the devil showed up again, so now we'll destroy you. So what I did was, I told him in the demonic language, I got these marks. These are my contract to protect me, to destroy you. He said, fool, I gave you those marks. Those are my marks that I own you. I own you. No one owns you. I do. And you're going to live for me or you die. And when he went to grab me the second time around, I said, it's finished. I said, this is it. He went to grab me the second time around. The cross of Jesus Christ appeared in hell. There's no greater love than the cross that will come for sinner like me in hell. So when David said, if I make my bed in hell, he knows I'm there. Grace and mercy showed up in hell. Grace and mercy knew my address. Grace and mercy have a plan for my life. For my despicable, demonic, selfish ways, arrogant, self-centered ways in hell, when I was done for the count, Jesus Christ loved the misfit. And he said, I have a plan for you. I loved you. You're going to be magic. And he showed up in hell. And when I woke up, then my spirit came back into my body. I woke up and I bent my knee to Jesus Christ. I had $100,000 witchcraft stuff in my house. I threw witchcraft away. I threw religion away. I threw everything that had to do with darkness away. The people from Haiti, the people from Cuba, the people from Miami, New York said we have to kill them. because he knows too much. We have to destroy him. We have to kill him because he knows too much. He's not one of us anymore. And they came for the kill. They did their best. They came for the kill. I was sleeping the day. So I was there at night and the demons showed up and tormented me for 30 days. They tormented me for 30 days. They would grab me by my throat, pick me off my bed, the room would go cold. I would lay in my bed. I felt another person right next to me, ice cold, another person. I would look like this and I could feel the presence like it was the devil himself right in my bed. For 30 days, on and off, tormenting, torture, trying to steal my mind, trying to rip my soul out of my mind, trying to rip my spirit out of my body. I would tremble at night, like I never trembled before. 30 days, and I would cry out. I didn't know how to pray. I said, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Do you know how to pray? I said, man, I pray like my sister prayed. I heard her in church, she prayed this way. I heard that person pray this way. I would bring all these prayers together to try to put them together like a puzzle, to try to fight for my life. And one day I was in church worshiping, and I would ask Lord, why you letting people, why you let this happen to me? And one day I heard the voice of God again. He said, I wanted to see how much you love me. And he said, I wanted to see how much you trust me. And ever again, I was tormented by the devil. And I became an evangelist for Jesus Christ. 14 years serving the Lord, and I will never trade it for nothing in the world. And I know that somewhere in Hallelujah Boulevard, there's a mansion for John Ramirez. And one day it says, welcome home, well done, faithful servant. And I tell you, there's nothing. I'm not talking about Christianity. I'm talking about relationship with Jesus Christ. He is my Lord. He is my beginning and end. No weapon formed against me will ever prosper. I died when Jesus said, go home. Not because of a witch, not because of a person, not because of heck, voodoo, vex, incantation, none of that can separate me from the love of God. $100,000 of witchcraft, selling my soul. Marks here, marks here, marks here. But the biggest mark is here. Is the love that I have for the cross. And nothing like the cross of Jesus Christ. And I tell you this, and I end with this. I was cursed, I became blessed. Because the one that was blessed became cursed for me. And I switched daddies. And my daddy sits in the universe. And he loved me beyond I could imagine. And that love now I can give to my daughter. And my daughter today, she's a born-again Christian, graduated from college, psychology major. And I know that God's going to use her in a greater way. Because the baton that I have, I will pass to her, the right baton this time. And I know she'll do greater exploit than her daddy. And before I leave the earth, people will know that John Ramirez is here because he served a mighty God. Amen.
Wow. Yeah, that guy's testimony is one of the craziest ones that I've seen. Anyways, guys, it's actually past the devil's hour now. Time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'll try to do another broadcast tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be doing a show tomorrow, but I'll try. I'll at least do a short afternoon segment, hopefully. Wow, it's really late. 4:02 a.m. We just passed the devil's hour. Thank you all again. Signing off. This is Dr. Dank.